Welcome to the special Halloween edition of America's favorite game. Now I know what you're thinking when you look at me. Big ol' wiener. So here we are. Halloween costume, everything ready to go. Last week, I incorrectly said that last week's episode was the last one in October for spooky season, but I don't know how to read a calendar. So here we are. In this game, we got one more in October. Halloween. How could I not? So here's what we do. If you're unfamiliar with who wrote that shopping list, or if you are just concerned that there's a thumbnail with a guy in a giant wiener costume, you're just confused, you have no idea what we do, here's how the game is played. First, I find a shopping list somewhere around, store, parking lot, something like that. I take it, go over it, line by line. We figure out together, because I'm going to need your help, we figure out and we try and answer the age-old question, solve that mystery. Who wrote that shopping list? So let's go. All right, let's get into this one. I don't normally look at these a lot before I do a video. I like to kind of go in and I don't look anything up. I don't, research anything beforehand. I kind of just go with what I know or what I think I read and see and all that stuff. And I think that makes it a little better. But this one, just giving it a really quick once over, I think this one is fairly obvious, but we're going to see if you guys agree with me. So this one, really interesting. Two pieces stuck together, actually taped together right here. There is some tape right in here. So they took two equal size pieces of paper and taped them together into one big list. There's also something written on this backside, but I'm going to get to that at the very end. But let's flip it over. Let's give it a start. First, we have starting out right on the top here. I think for cooking bags for turkey. It looks like for oven. Is that for oven on the top there? I think is what that says. Large cooking bags for turkey, which is already a dead giveaway for what we're doing here. But we're going to start out 3 cans of whole cranberry sauce. I didn't know that there were whole and is there another version of cranberry sauce other than whole? I don't know, but I do know that there's really only one time that we see cranberry sauce. Every time I see cranberry sauce or I think of cranberry sauce, I think of that episode of The Simpsons where Marge wants Bart to take the cranberry sauce out of the can, and he keeps saying that the can opener is broken because it's one of the hand ones. It's not an electric. And so she does it, and it just slowly slides out of the can and it keeps the whole shape can. Never really was a fan of cranberry sauce. Sugar-free, 2 small boxes of raspberry Jell-O. Where does raspberry Jell-O fall on your list of Jell-O, like your top Jell-O flavors? Because I didn't even realize that I guess I know that they made raspberry Jell-O. I've never had raspberry Jell-O. It's always been, the big cherry. They have the blue one, blue raspberry, I guess, which I've never seen a blue raspberry in the wild. So, shows what I know. So they want raspberry Jell-O, which now kind of I want to try raspberry Jell-O. I do love raspberries. We used to have a really small patch behind my house when I grew up that grew raspberries, and they were so good. So I would pick those. I hope they were raspberries. They looked and they tasted like raspberries. They were really good, and I'm not dead yet, so I guess they were fine. So maybe I will try some raspberry Jell-O. I got a box of pudding, and I don't really care as much for chocolate pudding, so I got vanilla pudding. And then, spoiler alert, by the way, watched Saw X, and there's a big scene involving bone marrow that looks way too much like vanilla pudding. So now I'm kind of like, well, those are going to be sitting for a minute, but has nothing to do with sugar-free raspberry jello here. 3 Gala apples is next. Also, Gala apples. I know everybody goes wild for the Honey Crisp. I do love the Honey Crisp as well. But Golden Delicious is kind of my jam for apples. Those Golden Delicious, it's hard to beat a Golden Delicious apple, man. I don't know. Gala apples, I guess they're fine. Bread and butter, pickles, and we start to see some stuff crossed off here. So obviously they made it at least decently far into this list. We'll move this up here just a little bit so we can go through. A small package of chicken thighs and oatmeal. Quick cooking. I guess that's the quick cooking. I don't know the difference in all the oatmeals. I was never big into oatmeal. I should have been more into oatmeal rather than all the sugar cereals that I was into growing up. But I don't know. My friend's dad, like one of my best friends growing up, his dad used to love making oatmeal. I just never really got into it. On the side here, we got Raisin Bran. Not really big. I like raisins. Not a big fan of Raisin Bran. So, that is how it is, I suppose. We got applesauce. We got cottage cheese. There's a whole list coming together, which I think you can kind of figure out. Also, nice handwriting. Very nice handwriting. And I can read all of this. And good use of shorthand, like BXS up there for boxes. Stuff that I know that I can do. Fat-free yogurt, okay. No flavor there, so I guess probably plain. Bread and Cool Whip. So obviously we're building towards something here. So that looks like that is pretty much the grocery list here. So we got the grocery list up top. And then it kind of takes a turn here because after the grocery stuff, we go down here, bank for cash, which... fun game to play if you can play it, but I think they just mean we're just going straight up to the bank for some cash, so this is a multiple stop list, which is kind of interesting. This is the first one that's been very obviously a multiple stop list. Easy for me to say. I had to really think about that, which is kind of sad for me, but we also have hairspray, shampoo and conditioner. And so we're into non-grocery items but I have a theory. And now that I'm thinking about it and I say it out loud, it kind of changes my opinion. So we have gingerbread house, half price, $4.99, one white penguin bird, etc., $3.99, and one pine cone pick, 99 cents each. So they even wrote prices. So this obviously seems like some kind of craft or project thing. They got the prices on there. I don't know why they're half price, but apparently they are. And then underneath that, we have a Hobby Lobby trip. Look like it says look for logs, which I guess that might be part of a craft project. On there. I don't know. I've never seen logs at Hobby Lobby, but so obviously a multiple trip. At first I thought maybe they were going to multiple different places, but if they're going to a place like Walmart that has a bank inside, maybe they divided up the non-grocery side and the grocery stuff. And on the back, I know I mentioned earlier on that there was something on the back, so let's take a look at that because there's a menu. We have tea, we have smoked turkey, we have, I don't know what that says, deviled eggs, 2 dozen, that doesn't say today. That would have been a great shorthand. I know that they were doing shorthand, but that says 2 dozen of those, and cookies for dessert. I don't know what that one right there, what does that say? I don't know. I can't read that one. I was doing so good reading all of these, and I can't read that one. I thought that first word was fillet, but that's not a fillet. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to go with whatever that is on the menu. We're not gonna eat it. So it looks like a pretty solid menu. You have smoked turkey, you got tea, you got some random thing. I don't know. Maybe it's like macaroni salad with tuna in it. I don't know. People bring some weird stuff. Deviled eggs, 2 dozen worth of those. Stinky, smell like farts. And cookies for dessert, which you know I'm a fan of cookies. Don't ask me about Oreos though, because that is a sore subject. So I know I went kind of fast going through this because it is kind of a big list. But if we look at it as a whole, you can see that there's a lot on here. And so they had multiple stops to make, and it kind of bums me out that we went all the way through the list, and they only crossed off. They didn't cross off much, I'm going to go ahead and say. So that means they lost this list pretty early on. So we have all the information now. We know that it's a multiple stop list. We know all the different things that they're looking for. I think it's pretty obvious. But let's take this information and let's roll it into our final guess. All right, so this one, I think there's a lot going on in this final guess. I think it's interesting that the list is so big. We got 2 pieces stuck together, but I think the answer's obvious. I think we can all agree. Thanksgiving shopping list, right? There's a whole lot here. There's more to it than that, but I think that's the big crux of it is it's obviously a Thanksgiving shopping list. So I think this is the mom or primary shopper. I think the handwriting is female. It's very nice. It's great handwriting. So I think it's a mom, head of the household for shopping, going to make sure she's got everything set for Thanksgiving. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know if they're going somewhere with the bank for cash stuff. There's several stops on here. So it's a big shopping day. It's part of a whole shopping day, not just one store on a list. So my final guess, with the menu on the back and everything like that, my final guess on it, mom of the house, holding a Thanksgiving, in charge of a lot for Thanksgiving. Either everybody's coming to their house or she's bringing a lot over, and responsible for a lot on the menu. So trying to knock out as many things in one day as possible, so she can get home and get all this stuff made and set right. So I think, mom prepping for Thanksgiving. So do you agree? Did I miss something? Am I way off? I feel like this one's pretty straightforward, so I feel like there's not much to get wrong, but there's always a chance. So let me know how you think I did. Let me know who you think wrote this list. Also, if you would be so kind, if you like what we're doing here, if you like the gimmick, if you like the show and you want to see us do more, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell so that you will never miss an episode. Don't forget, we have new episodes of Sit Down Stand Up every week. We got a whole lot more coming. We're only growing, so make sure to hang with us for that. And until next time, this is Chris telling you, do me a favor and leave your shopping list behind somewhere easy for me to see it so that I can run through it and make assumptions about you, gross, wild assumptions about you that may or may not even be right. I don't know, but this big wiener's getting hot, so I'm going to take this costume off and we'll see you next time.